Look, this investment Guru's tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight.
Well said! Well said! Well said!
SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
Presented by National Stock Exchange.
Hello and welcome. You're with us here on Business Today. Just after 9, we're here to get you all the market opening action. First, let's take a look at what's making headlines in the corporate and financial world this morning. Markets nervous a day after investors lost nearly 9.5 lakh crore rupees in wealth after the budget speech. But good capex and fiscal numbers could make the markets bounce back today. Analysts say fears of a bear grip were exaggerated. Eyes will also be on the rupee, which is expected to cross the 92 mark today. Pharma, textiles, IT, infra and rail stocks will be in focus after the great budget day sell-off. Massive outlays, tariff and PLI SOPs as well as infrastructure boost set to lift the sector's stocks today. Big logistics push will act as a multiplier. Gold and silver on a roller coaster ride on COMEX. Gold plunges 4% before recouping and falling again. Silver was down 12% in early morning trade before value buying by traders. Silver prices have fallen by 32% in just a week. On the MCX as well, silver fell by a whopping 26,000 rupees yesterday. Rail Minister Ashwini Vaishnav announces the South high-speed diamond between Chennai, Bengaluru and Hyderabad. Says the passenger rail corridor will be a great boon for all southern states. Chennai-Bengaluru travel time to be reduced to just over 1 hour. Tells Business Today in an exclusive chat that the India Semiconductor Mission is set to attract marquee investments and create 20 lakh new jobs. The auto sector starts 2026 on a high. Passenger vehicle sales surge in January, led by Tata, M&M, Hyundai's record month and Toyota's steady growth. While Hero MotoCorp posts a strong 26% year-on-year jump, signaling robust demand across segments. Okay, just a couple of minutes to go for opening, and it promises to be an exciting day with investors and traders both looking for the smallest cues just after we saw a 9.5 lakh crore rupee crunch in markets yesterday. Markets had gained substantially in the initial part of the budget speech, plunging soon after the finance minister announced an increase in the securities transaction tax on futures and options trade. The F&O market makes up for a large share of the revenues of exchanges and brokerages. The Finance Ministry defended the move, saying the speculative trade had led to massive losses for retail investors.
That the only change made in STT is in the future and options. All the other STT rates remain the same. The primary objective of raising the tax rates on STT has been that it is felt that when you look at the volume of transactions in futures and options, whether you compare it to the size of GDP or size of the underlying securities market, it is largely in the realm of heavy speculation, which results in losses to small, retail, unsophisticated investors. And the government's intention is to discourage speculative tendencies, and the increase in rate is essentially in that direction. So it is meant to essentially handle the systemic risk in derivative markets. Even after this increase, however, the rates of STT will remain modest compared to the volume of the transactions that is happening there.
Okay, I just want to mark the bond market. Remember, it's already under stress, and we've noticed that despite the deep rate cuts by the RBI, yields haven't come down materially, and that's because the sell-off in the bond markets is related to global uncertainty as well as the currency depreciation. Remember, we're expecting currency to breach 92 today, and we'll discuss that with Avinash and Shell in just a moment. Now, the borrowing program of the government is on the higher side, 17.2 trillion approximately, which means the government will have to raise the money through bonds that will keep the yields on the higher side, and the prices will continue to be under stress. Meanwhile, the currency is also being closely tracked as the US is now focusing on making a dollar stronger to some extent, and we do need exports to go up till the tariffs are not negotiated with the US. We don't entirely have a good picture on that. Let's bring up the currency today as well and how it's opened, and the rupee is expected to remain under pressure until we have some kind of clarity on those tariff negotiations as well. So that's what's happening on the bonds and currency side. Right now we've got just a few minutes to go for opening. Remember, a massive wipeout yesterday. Brokerages coming out with their views on the market. Most of them are saying that it's pretty much in line, structurally in line, sort of a mid-term focus. Near-term shock was primarily on the back of STT. So that's really the one-line summary on the budget. How will markets react today? Remember, FIs, of course, will come in today being Monday. Yesterday was Sunday and they were not operating. So we'll wait and see if that leads to a further rout in the market today. So just in pre-open, we're looking at touch week. Let's see if we see some recovery today after the dust has settled, or whether we continue to see the back of further selling post the budget as well, whether that be further profit booking or whether just continued weakness. Let me also mark crude, because post the OPEC meet, crude is actually seeing a little bit of a hit. And remember, while there's no clarity on what's happening on the geopolitical front, this is perhaps OPEC being a little seeing this as a precursor and just keeping rates steady or production steady at this point, because just in case geopolitical risks ease, currently the fundamentals are trending kind of weak, and so that means that oil will then get further hit. So right now they've kept production unchanged. Oil is looking weak this morning, but currently there's no clarity given the geopolitical environment and the fact that we don't really have an indication of how perhaps oil will move in the light of that. So 8 members in that decision, all choosing to keep production unchanged for now. Just waiting for those opening ticks to hit your screen, and I think we've got them going for you. Just a marginal downtick on the index right now is what we're looking at this morning. So clearly, not perhaps looking at a major rout continuing from yesterday. But let me go across to Shell. Shell, good morning. What's it looking like today? Will we see traders continue to show their disappointment with the STT tax, or will we see some kind of stability returning?
Good morning, Aabha, and a warm welcome to all those who are watching us on India Today television. As long as the rupee weakens, Aabha, there is really no hope for the Nifty on the long side. We will see continued selling, and we will also see the pain that is getting reflected in the F&O space because of higher STT. So therefore, more volatile tax, more volatile trade, higher volatility, and of course the disappointment that you mentioned. The brokerages who mentioned that this is good for the long term, of course are licking their wounds, because it essentially means that daily revenue and exchange revenue will go down because of higher STT, and people are also going to remain on sidelines. So a first couple of days of the budget, post budget, you'll see some kind of a reality check coming in. Only the pharma index is up. That points to the defensive nature of the market, and all we see is very, very heavy selling pressure coming in the first few minutes of trade. 0.4% higher on the metal space, 11,400 on the index, but broadly it's an even Stevens kind of an opening. Aabha.
All right, well, even Stevens better than what we saw yesterday, clearly. But interesting moves on both the currency as well as the precious metals, which were looking like they were stabilizing. They've actually weakened further. Meanwhile, the rupee has actually strengthened just a touch, 22 paise to 91.76. That's a little bit of a surprise. It's just marginal, of course, versus the dollar, but seeing a little bit of strengthening while the US dollar has eased. So just a 22 paise difference coming in there. Remember, we are watching out for further pressure on the dollar actually. So rupee and with continued government borrowing expected to remain under pressure, but this morning at least has opened steady. Avinash Gorakhsakar also joining us this morning. Avinash, good to have you with us. The morning after budget, markets seem to be just holding steady for the moment. What is your take?
Yeah, good morning, Aabha. Good morning, Shail. My sense is the markets, Aabha, are going to take some time to recover because, yesterday
Okay.
A big negative surprise has come on the STT rise. Although, this is relevant for the future and options segment. See, my sense is that this actually drives the sentiment and the liquidity in the market. Some of the FIs are also unhappy. My sense is that it would take a slight amount of time before things stabilize. And I think Shail mentioned about the rupee weakening factor, which is very important. If the rupee weakens, that is another drag on the markets. You could see continued FI selling even today. And most importantly, I think the markets would obviously take some time to see all the announcements which have been made for sectors like capital goods, data centers, electronics, hotels and tourism. These are definitely promising sectors as of now. But yes, I think, if you want to build a portfolio, this could be a good time. Stocks like Indian Hotels, Lemon Tree, or for that reason, data centers like Anantraj, which is up by about 6% today. So I think it's a good time to cherry pick for long term, but in the short term, pain will continue. The index definitely will be under pressure today. I think hopefully only if we see some rise in the second half. Otherwise, like yesterday, today also will be a fall, but the fall will be slightly lesser as compared to yesterday.
All right, the rupee opening steady, precious metals continuing their weakness, or in fact continuing to slide, and the bond market yields have actually spiked as anticipated. Remember, both in line with as the government's program and expected weakness on the currency, we are continuing to see bond yields on the higher side, and this morning as well, the bond yield is spiking, in fact. So the bond yield spiking this morning, gold and silver continuing the rout. The rupee is kind of steady, but has not breached 92 as anticipated. Actually, just a 22 paise appreciation at this point of time. And of course, crude, we're also tracking for you this morning, post the OPEC meet, is actually seeing a lot of weakness in trade as well. And we'll pull up some of those gainers and losers on the back of that this morning. In terms of key stocks and sectors, Avinash, let's get your view on that as well. Because, yes, while structurally, of course, the budget looked at a whole host of measures, when it comes down to impact, what are you actually watching out for, even if it takes perhaps the medium term to play out?
No, I think two big announcements in the budget have been the capex, kind of plan, something like 12 point, plus lakh crores. So definitely, this is a big positive surprise for the domestic capital goods segment. I think we are very bullish on companies like Larsen and Toubro, Action Construction. Typically more capex means more business for them. And the data center business has definitely been the kind of buzzword and now has been recognized by the government. The best part is that, investment from overseas investors for putting up either data centers independently or having strategic tie-up with Indian players will get 100% tax exemption till 2047. So, companies like Anantraj, E2E Network, these are definitely companies which are going to now grow very rapidly because foreign capital could come in these companies. And I think religious tourism has also been given a big boost. So I think, especially large players like Indian Hotels, already the October to March is a busy season for them. So this could be another interesting space. And of course, the electronics and the semiconductor sectors, where a lot of investment is expected. So typically, companies which have already gone in, the Murugappa Group through CG Power has decided to invest in semiconductors. So these could be interesting bets, for the longer term. In the short term, the market volatility will be high. So, you could expect a little bit of underperformance here. But overall, these sectors are going to present a lot of good opportunities. And obviously, the economy is growing. I think today we have seen the January GST number 6.5% increase. So, macro sectors like automobiles, auto components, consumption, these are also going to be sectors which are going to grow steadily. So, net, I think on balance, these could be the sectors one should definitely look at nimbling in the market, even if the current short-term trend is negative.
All right, lots to track there. Shall, let me bring you in on auto. Today, just quiet on the auto index. We're not seeing any kind of runaway reaction to sales numbers. I guess markets are just digesting the budget all across, even though auto numbers have been decent. Of course, to some extent, sentimentally, some pressure with regards to increasing competition.
Yes, Aabha, I think, there is some sort of sanity that is coming back to the market. Look at the reverses that you are seeing in the metal space. Hind Copper now again top traded 5.4% higher. This was the knee jerk that is getting replied to. Hind Zinc 3.4% higher. Avinash, good morning to you. You had mentioned Anantaraj. This is one of the biggest beneficiaries of the data center changes that have been introduced by the market, by the government in terms of tax relief for the next 21 years. So that is something that is doing immensely well. But some activity again coming back into the market on the long side. In terms of top gainers, you have MRPL doing pretty well, 6.5% higher. Canfin Homes, National Aluminium, Hindustan Zinc, we've mentioned. NetWeb Technologies is doing pretty well. So these are wonderful positions to look forward to. But that's again the volatile nature of the beast.
All right. Well, let's also get you a conversation with Ashwini Vaishnav. Siddharth Rabi sat down with him post the budget, talking about that huge push towards infrastructure, and he sort of shared his insights, of course, and how 7 new high-speed rail corridors could significantly boost economic activity across southern states, while also outlining the government's roadmap for semiconductors under the next phase of the India Semiconductor Mission. Listen in.
Bringing a better customer experience, passenger experience, because if you just go a few years back, every power plant would be struggling to get the right amount of coal, and today each and every power plant has as much coal as it wants to store. Practically, we are able to run 12,000 special trains during the last Chhath and Diwali, whereas earlier in the Congress period it used to be 400 trains, 700 trains maximum. So that kind of change has already been visible in the 1 decade, and now we have to take it to the next level, and that's why today the 7 new high-speed corridors have been announced. Chennai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Chennai, Hyderabad. This triangle will be a big boost for the economy of 5 South Indian states, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and the Puducherry Union Territory. Chennai Bangalore will become a journey of just 1 hour and 13 minutes. Bangalore Hyderabad will be a journey of 2 hours. Chennai Hyderabad will be a journey of 2 hours 55 minutes. Imagine the change it will bring, right? Then Mumbai Pune will be a journey of just 48 minutes, less than 1 hour. Pune Hyderabad will be a journey of 1 hour and 55 minutes only. So this kind of change this kind of connectivity will bring an immense change in the lives of people. Converting all the trains to new trains with closing doors, automatic door closing, so that the safety improves multiple times. All those are part of the works. Already 238 train sets are in the process of procurement and manufacturing for Mumbai. Same is the case for entire long distance trains. We are moving towards new technologies where you don't have to put the engine. The train itself becomes a train set, so it has every second or third car will have the Panto on top, and then so that again improves safety in a significant way. So all those things are already in works.
Absolutely massive numbers when it comes to the railways. You wear multiple hats. Let's talk about the high-tech hat that you wear, and this is the semiconductor mission, and alongside the rare earths corridor. Both are very critical to national security. It is not just a subject for the IT sector. What kind of progress can we see on account of this mission, and why did we need this ISM 2.0 mission at this stage?
The semiconductor journey is a multi-year journey. The first version, we wanted to get the marquee investments and wanted to create that, jumpstart that industry in our country. And as you know very well, you understand the semiconductor subject very well. You yourself were associated with Mohali. So with that as the background, starting a new industry was the mission of the first version. The second version will focus on equipment manufacturing and design in our country. The equipments which are used for manufacturing semiconductors, those equipment we should manufacture in India. the materials which are used for manufacturing semiconductors, those materials we must manufacture in India. The design capability we have to increase substantially. We must have our own deep tech startups. We must focus on making sure that the chips required for the strategic sectors are all designed and manufactured in India. So those are all part of the Semicon 2.0, and very soon we'll come out with the cabinet proposal for approval. It's a very satisfying journey because the entire world today trusts India, believes in our capability to become one of the major semiconductor nations in the world.
All right, we'll continue to process the budget for you today. Remember, markets, of course, are steady. In fact, have moved into the green after a huge rout yesterday. And brokerages are sounding pretty neutral on the budget so far, saying it's a structurally sound budget. In the medium term, of course, we'll continue to see some pressure on government debt. But overall, they do expect to see implications play out when it comes to capex and growth going forward. So that's where we leave it for now. Thanks so much for watching. And we'll, of course, come back with market closing a little later in the day. Thank you.
Presented by National Stock Exchange.
Look, this investment guru's tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight.
Visit! Visit! Visit!
SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The aftermath of the budget, the first day of trading post the national budget. Policies have been digested, new taxes have been understood, and research teams have worked overnight to come up with ideas and studies that might work well over the next 6 months, given the change that has happened in the profiling of the economy as far as the Indian markets are concerned. The Nifty 67 points higher. It started on the back foot, but the disappointment now sort of dissipating. People have read the fine print, understood and accepted the government's view on a rising STT for options and futures trading, and gone ahead in life. 81 points 300 points higher, 300 points higher on the Sensex, 57 points higher on the Nifty, and of course the Nifty Bank in slight weakness. Metals are making some sort of a comeback. You've seen very heavy selling pressure yesterday and day before. Hindustan Copper showing some signs of life again. Again, top traded counter, 1,000 crores have already been traded, 3.6% higher. Anantraj, a real estate play in Delhi, seen as one of the biggest beneficiaries of the change in laws governing data centers, is again 5.5% higher. Yesterday it had risen 9%, so that's a continuation of the trend. You have a strong move coming into National Aluminium, ICICI Bank, PFC, and of course Bharti. So bit of a, the market trying to find its feet post the changes that have happened in the budget. Vaishali Parekh, VP Technical Research and Analysis at Prabhudas Lilladher, joins us on the show. Good morning, Vaishali. Two stock picks that interest you at this point of time.
Very good morning, Shelji. So I think in this volatile market, I would go for KEI Industries. So that is attempting. I mean, we've seen decent corrective move coming in, and now it's showing some, bottoming out at 37.50. So on a near-term basis, I would say 3900 should act as a support. Currently, it's going at 4015. This can give a bounce. The near-term target would be 4150. So 3900 as a near-term support, and 4150 would be the near-term target that I would look And above that, of course, one can relook for higher targets. The other stock that I would really focus on is Torrent Power. Torrent Power also, I mean, we've seen good active move coming in, but holding on to a cluster of support levels. So it's currently at a price of 1325. I would say 1280 acts as a very good support, and if momentum continues, I think this can go towards 1360 to 1380.
Vaishali, what has been the reaction within the brokerage and in the broader community of traders that you speak to about this very sharp rise in STT for both futures and options? How are traders readjusting their lives?
Well, so right now they're just trying to sink in with these news, but I think it will be forgotten eventually, and the trading will continue like how it used to. So for now, yes, they are trying to digest the fact and a bit skeptical view, but overall, I don't think this should be a cause of concern in times to come.
Okay. By any chance, because you deal in futures on your own portfolio and also on behalf of clients, options I understand you may not be doing, would you see your activity come down?
Not really. Not really, because clients who are really quite into it and who are systematic traders, they don't really worry about such things.
Fair point, and so should it be. If you are an intelligent trader, experienced in the art of reading charts, then of course, it's a bit of a hurdle. It's like that niggling, small stone in your shoe, which you get used to as you continue walking. Be that as it may, KEI Industries is something that Vaishali is preferring on the long side, including Torrent Power as well. Vaishali, would you hold a view on metals? As far as silver and gold are concerned, they still trade at a considerable premium in the physical market, despite the very sharp fall that you've seen in the futures market. What are the charts of silver and gold telling you?
So yes, we've seen good erosion coming in. So in dollar terms, I think, we saw pre-opening was at around 77 or something. So if we see further corrective move coming in, it can go towards 65, 68. So that is how I would look at it. So I would not really say that it's an ideal scenario to start trading. But for value buying, I would say one should start doing it as an SIP from here on for a longer term perspective.
Right. Vaishali, thank you so much for this wonderful thought process on how positions should be managed in futures despite rising prices, and of course the two calls on KEI Industries and Torrent Power. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back shortly.
Hello and welcome. One of the biggest budgets of the Modi government, a budget that is full of details and promises a path towards Viksit Bharat. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's 9th budget, but I have with me now on India Today, Ashwini Vaishnav ji. He